People today love to talk about the glory era of American muscle cars. The late 60s and early 70s. The big blocks. The street battles. The drag strip wars. But there is one car that didn't just belong to that era, it survived beyond it. It is the final punch of American muscle before everything collapsed. And that car is the Pontiac Trans Am SD-455. To understand why this car is legendary, you need to understand the timing. The early 70s were not friendly to performance cars anymore. The government was putting new emissions laws. Insurance companies were punishing high horsepower cars, and then came the 1973 oil crisis. Gas became expensive and suddenly muscle cars became the enemy. Every car company started to weaken their engines. Muscle cars started losing power, and the era of horsepower was dying. And exactly at this moment, Pontiac did something insane. When everyone else was reducing power, Pontiac decided to build one of the strongest engines they ever made. The SD-455. SD means Super Duty. And this was not a marketing name. This was a race-inspired engine made for the street. The SD-455 was hand-built in limited numbers. It had a beefed-up block, forged internals, high-flow heads, a radical cam, and an advanced lubrication system. This engine was designed to survive abuse. It was not a normal 455. This was built to rev hard, and last long. Even if you drove it like a race car. What happened next was crazy. Pontiac got this engine certified for the street. They actually sold these monsters to regular customers. In an era where everybody was killing performance, Pontiac was giving people a street-legal race motor. And this was not cheap. It took time. It took money. And it took guts. No car company wanted to take such a risk at this time. The SD-455 Trans Am was the last true muscle car that refused to die quietly. It carried the last real flame of American horsepower. People still talk about the LS6 Chevelle, the Hemi Charger, the Boss 429 Mustang. But those cars existed before the era collapsed. The SD-455 existed after the collapse. That is what makes it special. Even its horsepower rating was underrated. Official numbers were conservative. But real-world performance was shocking. Motor Trend tested the SD-455 and they said, "This is the fastest bird yet." This car was faster than what the paperwork claimed. Pontiac secretly left this car stronger than the government data sheet. Today this car is considered one of the rarest and most collectible American muscle cars. Why? Because it represents the end. It represents the last moment before performance died in the 70s. When someone asks, what is the last real muscle car of the original era? The true hardcore answer is not a Mustang. Not a Camaro. Not a Challenger. The final punch was the SD-455 Trans Am. The last beast that refused to bow down. The car that didn't surrender when everyone else gave up. It didn't save the muscle era. But it ended it with dignity. This car deserves respect, because it was the final roar of American V8 freedom. If you love real automotive history and real muscle car legends, subscribe to this channel. Because we don't just talk about cars, we talk about the machines that changed America.